Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and of course, as you know, it's that time of year, October, spooky season, what have you. And of course, that means we get the final installment in the Halloween franchise. Yay, I don't know. Anyway, that of course I'm talking about Halloween Ends, directed once again by David Gordon Green, starring Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode in this final chapter where we will finally see the face-off between Jamie Lee Curtis and Michael Myers one last time. Now, I actually liked Halloween Kills. I thought it was okay. I really loved the idea of the mob mentality in that movie, and I think that really made the circumstances in which these events were occurring much more compelling. But the film obviously falls way flat on its face by the end, and there's going to be slight spoilers for the last Halloween movie, because obviously, you know, it's in the trailers, and you know already if you're watching this, because obviously they kill Laurie Strode's daughter, played by Judy Greer in that, and it was like the stupidest conclusion to a movie ever, because it did not feel warranted or in line with, you know, what they did with the character throughout the entire movie, and it felt like, oh, let's just give one last kill to get the audience off. I don't know. It was pretty terrible. But I thought there were so many great ideas I absolutely loved in that movie. And so coming to this, I didn't have the highest of expectations, because I knew, okay, the last one's fine. A lot of people didn't like it. And I heard the reviews are pretty mixed for this one. But I was in Canada, and right down from the hotel I was staying at, there was an IMAX theater. It was like early in the day. I didn't have anything going on until a little bit later. So I said, alright, what the hell, let me go. It's only like $14 for an IMAX ticket in Canada. So this is like Canadian tax money we're talking about. That's pretty cheap. So I went. Oh my goodness. Where do I even begin with this film? Besides the fact that it's absolute fucking dog shit. This is a blasphemous film. This is completely desecrates on the legacy of the Halloween franchise. I would literally go that far. And look, it's not like it's a poorly made film in regards to the technical aspects. You've seen the last two. You understand that it's competently made. But the script is so fucking bad. My goodness, I have not seen a movie in the past 10 years that has made me feel this angry about something, just because of the sheer idiocy of all the decisions that were made going into the script of this film. I think that this, granted, I don't go out of my way to see bad movies, so please take this statement with a grain of salt. I think that this is the worst movie I've seen in the past 10 years. I fucking hated this piece of shit, and a lot of it had to do with the fact that they just take the surreal elements of what they were setting up with Michael Myers to be sort of like this mythological being as opposed to just this killing machine of a man. And I absolutely hate that, because that's not what the original Halloween was about. It was very grounded in realism. And so that already throws it out the window. And then what they try to do with it and take it a step further is even more appalling. I just can't even understand why they thought this was a good idea. And I know a lot of people think, oh, you know, trying to show, like, you know, how evil can consume somebody. But, like, I don't think the characters are set up that way in this film that they try to portray. And of course, I just think that they completely throw everything out the window from the last movie that was good. It feels like nothing was expanded upon. It felt like Laurie Strode was like at a completely different place that wasn't necessarily indicative of the events of the last film, which made absolutely no sense. They completely gloss over her daughter's death. Like, they only mention it like once or twice. It has nothing to do, it has like no overarching narrative thread throughout the film in regards to it. And it just sounds like this film, I feel like it was written by 4 different people, and it very obviously shows, but it sounds like it was written by like Tommy Wiseau or something, but not in a good way. Like, I almost laughed out loud 5 times, but I kind of restrained myself, just because of how ridiculous and how ludicrous the dialogue is. Some of the interactions in this movie are so awkward, it felt like I was watching like Batman and Robin or something, and quite frankly, I would rather watch Batman and Robin, let me be honest with you, because at least that movie's fun. This movie just ratchets everything up to like a an 11 on the scale of like over the top and zany and crazy stuff. But also, I just think that the characters themselves, I mean, as I said about the interactions, they're so awkward, the dialogue's so stilted, but I feel like a lot of the characters are just complete assholes for no reason. And granted, I mean, you get that in horror films all the time, and people are assholes. That's just the way of the world, but it feels so exaggerated in a sense that I don't think people, like, would take it this far. There's not that many terrible people in the world, like, at least on that much of a frequency as this film portrays them to be. And it's just very, very stereotypical stuff you see. You see the same tropes of these characters, like the bullies, who are complete assholes, and will stop at nothing to torment their subject, even if it's something super serious, like they're breaking the law. Like, it just gets to the point where it is so unbelievable, and I cannot buy into this world at all, and it's just really, really disappointing, because I felt like when they went back when they rebooted this franchise, I felt like they were taking it back to the basics, and then they just completely shot off the ramp as far as I'm concerned. Now, another thing I will say about the movie, I will mention some of the actors. Obviously, Jamie Lee Curtis always brings it as Laurie Strode. This is something to be expected at this point. And of course, I really did like Rohan Campbell in the movie. I think his acting was good. I'm not necessarily a fan of the writing of his character, but other than that, you know, he did do a solid job throughout this entire runtime. And obviously, I also think that Andi Matichak is great too, once again, as Allison. But I just don't understand, like, it really doesn't help when you're giving these characters really shitty dialogue, because I feel like it really undersells them as actors, and it just completely ruins the movie. I just hate when movies, like, have these forced character interactions, or force these characters to get mad at each other because of something that wasn't, like, even in their control. I just absolutely hate it. It's very contrived, and this movie does it quite a few times, and I just can't get behind how ridiculous the melodrama is here. And it would have been really cool, because, like, a movie, because I'll tell you, Michael Myers is not in it that much. But it's a movie that essentially is a drama and kind of shows the effects of how these people have been taking the reign of Michael Myers on a psychological level. And I think that's a really interesting idea. I just don't think it is executed well at all, because of how terrible these characters and the dialogue and literally everything in this movie is. So I don't understand what they were doing with it. And also, when it comes to the final confrontation between Laurie and Michael Myers, it just feels so anticlimactic. And without spoiling it, you know, just considering everything they did in the first movie with their confrontation after all those years, like, you watch this and you're like, that's it? That's it? Yeah, it really just so underwhelming in so many ways. The other thing I will give this movie, though, is I think a couple of the kills in the third act are the most jaw-dropping, most goriest, some of the most grotesque things I've ever seen in any Halloween movie. So I have to give it credit there, because it is absolutely brutal and creative at the same time. And it's really hard to look at. They really did a great job with the kills. But, like, when I'm complimenting a movie on, like, how good the kills were, and that's, like, it, I think that says a lot about the vapidness of the screenplay and just this film in general. This is a massive disappointment and really a slap in the face to this entire franchise. Please do not waste your money on this. It is on Peacock. If you're genuinely interested, check it out there. I didn't know that it was, like, free. I could be wrong. Look into the details yourself. But it is on Peacock, and I know that's where a lot of people have gone to watch it, and I know a lot of people have been complaining about the box office numbers because of that. But you know what? That's fine. This film doesn't deserve any more money. I don't think that there should be any more Halloween movies after this. I don't think you need to, but also I feel like it would just be digging a deeper grave for this franchise that's already that's grave has already been desecrated on a number of times. So with that in mind, I'm giving Halloween Ends, a 1.5 out of 10. This is a massive, gigantic fucking piece of shit. Please don't watch it. Yeah, anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Really, really sad to see these filmmakers devolve to this level in this franchise, because I think there could have been a lot of potential there. But regardless, what do you think about this? I know some people liked it, some people I really respect. I don't understand it for the life of me, but let me know what you think anyway. And of course, if you like the content you're seeing here, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. More great videos coming your way soon. And of course, until the next video, I will see you guys later. And if I don't see you before Halloween, have a happy holiday.